Hello everyone, this is Dr. Clark from the Center for Weight Loss Success, and on this podcast of weight loss surgery success, we're going to talk a little bit with one of our favorite patients here, some things about never too old to think of surgery and never too old to start exercising. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Again, this is Dr. Clark. And on this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about surgery, and it's never too late to have surgery, as well as talk about it's never too late to exercise. So our guest tonight, one of our favorite patients here at the Center for Weight Loss Success, Mickey Chastain, and she's going to talk to us a little about these things. Go ahead and say hello, Mickey. You get to say hello now.
Oh, hello. I'm Mickey, and I'm 70 years old and had surgery on January 20th of 2014.
All right. So you've obviously, this wasn't something you thought of just on the spur of the moment or anything. So typically if someone's, 70 years old and having surgery, you've struggled with your weight for a little bit of time, right?
Yes, I quit smoking in 1980 and went back to college in 1980, so that stopped all exercising and started a lot of eating and a lot of fast food, and I have been yo-yoing up and down for years. I've lost the same 50 or 60 pounds since 1980, probably about 10 times, and I decided to have surgery. Well, I wanted surgery for a number of years, but because I didn't have any health problems, people were reluctant to do it.
So the weight's been kind of a slow accumulation over years that people often notice, and then at some point, sometimes something just comes up that flips the trigger, so to speak. And so what actually then made you decide, hey, I'm going to pursue this surgery real, I'm not just going to think about it, talk about it, we're going for it. Kind of what was going on?
Well, I had a grandson graduate from high school, and I saw some pictures from June of 2013. And by the time it got to be December of 2013, I tried on my sweatpants, and those were too tight. And so I got myself up here on December 23rd, and that's when I started watching my weight and watching calories, and even through the Christmas holidays, I was able to do that. And I find myself here.
And so here you are.
Lighter.
So now, often people are having health problems with it. Were you having any specific health problems that were associated with the weight, or what were you kind of concerned with? Other health things going on?
Well, I didn't have any high blood pressure, cholesterol, and another reason I wanted to go for the surgery was to try to prevent myself from having any of these further problems. I have discovered that over several months that my knees feel much better. So I think that's a combination of exercise and getting 80 pounds off my knees.
All right. Now, we often tell people that weight loss surgery is a life-changing event, but it's not only life-changing for the person undergoing surgery, sometimes also for their loved ones too. So you're married, been married a long time. What did your husband think about all this?
My husband was a little bit concerned about my having surgery at first because it is major surgery, but he has been very supportive. He doesn't bring the junk food in the house anymore. He doesn't eat as well as I do, but that's his choice and not mine. As I said, I think he's been very supportive. He's always supported anything that I wanted to do in connection with weight loss, whether it was joining another gym or another diet plan, such as many of the competitors out there. He always supported.
Right. Now, part of this is that, and I've seen your husband and you over in the fitness center routinely, and you've always been trying to stay active, but even more so after surgery. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that's very important, is to stay active, whether it's just out walking, walking the dogs. Someone suggested me that I take each dog out for 15 minutes at a time. Well, currently there are 4 dogs in my house, so there's an hour of walking a day.
All right. Yeah, that'll keep you busy.
You don't have to join the gym, but it is helpful, and I especially like the weight machines up here at the Weight Loss Center.
All right. Now, you've obviously been coming here ever since surgery, even before surgery. How did you find us? People often want to know kind of what made you say, let's go there, as opposed to the next place?
Well, I did a lot of searching online, and I like the fact that Dr. Clark had a lot of experience with this. I went to a lot of seminars before narrowing down here. I like the fact that there was a year follow-up after surgery. So there's lots of support here. I may not use everything like I should, but it is here. The classes, there are exercise classes here. There are, I'm not sure what to call them, seminars here several times a week. And I'm not a night person, so I'm not very good about getting up here at night. I prefer to get out during the morning time.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm a morning person myself. So, yeah, as you mentioned, we do have a full year program after surgery, and it combines a lot of different things, because the educational side of this after surgery is so important. The surgery literally is about 45 minutes to an hour out of your life. Now you've got the surgery for the rest of your life. So getting the most out of it, optimizing weight loss, as well as keeping the weight off long term is extremely important. And that's why we kind of built this whole year program afterwards. And as you alluded to, it includes a lot of kind of one-on-one counseling from either counselors, also working with personal trainers. We have fitness classes that are basically daily. We have educational and behavior modification classes that occur daily, as well as we have webinars that I do every single week that gives people access to the physician, that they don't necessarily even have to come in. If they live far away, they can still get access from the computer to ask questions and interact. So there's lots of things that we throw out there that I think are so extremely important after surgery, that support side and education side. And you basically are kind of the epitome. You take advantage of a lot of these things.
I think it's very important to take advantage of all of these, because you need constant reinforcement, constant reminders. Although the surgery has been a constant reminder, because I do have to watch what I eat and not overeat. Hardest thing about the surgery was getting used to not drinking with my meals. It's been a hard one.
Yes, that is probably one of the hardest behavior changes. Obviously, behavior change is hard, no matter what we're talking about, whether it be getting up half hour early or starting to exercise. But one of the hardest things for people is actually separating the eating and drinking, because it's different from everybody else in the world. Because when we sit down to eat, we eat and drink, and when we eat, we get thirsty. That's normal human physiology. And so but separating eating and drinking, and the concept there is that we want to try to keep that little stomach filled and not wash the food through. And so you want to hydrate yourself before eating, then sit down and eat, and then actually wait a while, a good 45 minutes or so, before restarting drinking. And the concept there is, one, you want to not wash food through, so that if you wash food through, you actually can eat more than anyone sitting. And number two, you don't want to wash food through as well as then getting hungry again sooner.
Right.
There are a number of reasons for that, but it is probably one of the hardest behavior changes that people have to do. It sounds simple, but it actually is not very easy to do.
Now I think that has been the most difficult. Watching the food that I eat, watching protein, watching carbs, that has not been difficult at all. Is the fluids, because I always drink a lot. There's no problems with me getting fluids down during the day, but at mealtime, I've had to restrict it.
Yep. Staying hydrated obviously is very important. So I'm going to ask you kind of I'm going to say a little more personal question about this. If you had maybe the one or two things that's the best thing about having surgery, what would it be?
The best thing? Oh, I kept on shopping for new clothes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm very pleased. I find that I'm a lot more comfortable going out and more confident. Meeting people, being with people. I go to my grandchildren's schools a lot, and I don't feel like a big blob anymore.
That is something that's very common that people find is like, my confidence level, I can do, it's not that you physically can just do these things, now you have the confidence to do these things. Mm-hmm. And that's a big change that often, it's hard to measure, because a lot of things after surgery we can measure. How many pounds you lost, inches that you lost, what is your blood sugar, what's your blood pressure, what's your cholesterol, we can measure these things. But there are a lot of things that occur that we can't measure. And some of it's that overall confidence, that overall just how do I feel? Can I do the things I want to do? I mean, that's what life is doing the things you'd like to do. And so that's hopefully what you really can do those things.
Well, I love being able to take my 3 little grandchildren, 4, 5, and 7, to the zoo and tiring them out before I'm tired out. So, I do have a lot more energy now.
Very good.
All that weight.
I'm also going to flip it around too, because people often don't want to always just hear about the best things. So now I'm also going to throw it in a spot. Hopefully, I'm not doing something, throwing a dagger at myself here. But what's the worst part of having surgery?
The worst part, for me, there wasn't, except the fluids. I go back to the fluids.
All right. I love that answer. I guess the point they're going is that, there doesn't have to be a worse side of this whole thing. I
looked upon this, I looked upon this as the easy way this time.
Okay, well, it's not easy, but, a lot of times when people can recover very quickly, get back to normal very quickly, but it truly is a life-changing event. But if you look at this as, hey, this is another adventure and I can adjust to all this, it can actually be a very fun trip, so to speak, a fun journey there.
It has been. It has been a great journey, and I would do it over again, even though I had to pay for it myself. Insurance, I didn't have insurance for it. I would certainly do it again.
All right. Now, how close you are to your goal weight, or where do you want to be?
Originally, I'm about 4 pounds under where I had thought I would end up.
Wow.
So I guess I've reached my goal.
All right. You surpassed your goals, and we love it when people surpass their goals. So kind of overall, can we see this kind of that, I'll say the life changes hopefully really improve there. If you had kind of one or a couple little tidbits of advice to give to our listeners out there, what would be kind of your best tips so far?
Follow your directions.
Well, that's a good one. We like that.
Yes.
Hopefully, we do like to try to lead people through all this and give them good directions that they can follow, and that tends to work very well too.
Yeah, I think that was the most important thing, is when you say to eat, no more than 2 ounces of food at a time, you need to follow that. Or drink no more than a couple of ounces of water or whatever fluid you're drinking. You do need to follow those directions or you will hurt. And I speak from the voice of experience. I learned my lesson very quickly. To follow your instructions.
Go slow. Go slow is always a mantra that we always put out there. Go slow. All right. Very good. Now, from the exercise part, what little tidbits do you have from that? Anything particular you'd like to have our listeners know?
I'm sorry, I did not hear.
Oh, the exercise part. What were you, if you're not 20 anymore? So what about this exercise? I guess what kind of tips do you have for our listeners?
I always have said that age is an attitude, and I may not be 20, and I may not look 20, but gosh, you can do it. You may have to start off very slowly. I have exercised off and on since 1970. and I've gone through periods where I've been exercising. There's really no reason why you can't do it if you start off slowly, and you get good instruction up here, and stick with the cardio is important.
Yep.
Along with the weights.
Yes, very good, and you've done fantastic. And I really appreciate kind of what you've done here today, and want to thank you for coming in and talking with us. You know, if our listeners out there want more information, I would encourage them go to our corporate website at cfwls.com. If you'd like more access to some of the things I talk about on a weekly basis through your computer on webinars, go to our site Losing Weight USA, which is losingweightUSA.com. You can get access to me every single week, as well as you'll get tips and recipes. So I'd like to thank everyone out there for listening. Mickey, thank you very much for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Remember, everyone, it's your life. Make it a healthy one. Take care.